वत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवतु तद्भक्तारमवतु अवतु माम् अवतु भक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यङ्करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः We have been very much intensely looking at the quote-unquote entry of Brahman. That is the whole prakarna. Because we have to get it out of the head that there is such a thing called a creation mythology for the Hindu Dharma, and then that is what is there in certain Upanishads like the Taittiriya and Chandogya Upanishads, and this is how the world came about. That is not so. And this we have seen time and again, so I'm not going to belabor this point. And what have we seen? We have seen that we could hardly care about which element came first, how many elements are there, how did they come, what is happening to them now, how do they go back. Same thing with the jivas. No. Because when you go down that trajectory, what happens is that we are buying into the Dvaita. So we are purchasing Dvaita. We are taking on a life after life after life subscription for duality. The more we try to brood, this is exactly what it is, brooding over how these things came about. How did the five elements came about, and then how did the five elements become my body, my mind, my senses. You can go on, and at some point there will be no explanation because Shruti is the pramana and you just have to take it at face value. So there is no point in crying and saying how did that Vayu come here and how did that space come here in my head. There is no point to it. But then why does the Upanishad talk about this? Upanishad talks about it because we won't shut up asking these questions. That's why the Upanishad is constrained to talk about it. What else will the poor Upanishad do? We keep saying, where did this body come from? Where did this mind come from? And even better, why did God create the universe? How did God create the universe? Why did God create the universe? All these things we keep asking, and then the Upanishad has to do upashamana, has to kind of help this doubt. And as long as there is this doubt, you know what happens? Nobody is paying attention. Nobody is paying attention to the oneness because the doubt is about Dvaita, about the two-ness, about the manifoldness. And so nobody is paying attention to the oneness, and even if the oneness is taught, it will not be caught, it will not be internalized. So therefore the Upanishad has to get down and play in the mud of our own muddy, obfuscated questions. Why did God create this universe? And then we have to say, to fulfill your karma, we have to say that, to have a stomping ground for your karma, and that I have to teach, this is my karma. Like that we have to say, because there is no other explanation. And so therefore, this is just an interim place. We have to understand this. We are at a, when we talk about Pravesha Shruti, what is that called? The so-called entry portion of this Upanishad. This whole portion that we are studying is called Pravesha Shruti. Pravesha means what? What is Pravesha? Where? We have to see that. There is no Pravesha, really speaking, and there is no creation mythology, there is no cosmology, there is nothing. All that is there is Satyam Jnanam Anantam, you. And if you say, who? Me? Yes, you. Oh, I don't understand. I need help. I'm still bogged down by the questions. Where did this come from? How did this come from? Why are you bogged down by these questions? I'm bogged down by the questions because in the last life I was a detective. I was a private detective, and so therefore those questions are, the samskara of those questions are still lingering. I cannot seem to go away from that. And so therefore I need an explanation. Upanishad says, okay, we have to shut that part of the ahankara down for the time being. And so this part of the Upanishad, in Sanskrit it is called Pravesha Shruti. In English it is called the pacifier portion. You know, just like the crying baby gets that some pacifier so that it keeps sucking on it and then stops crying. It's just so that ahankara, that portion which is the sleuth, which is, in the last life one was a private detective, or one was some kind of a murder mystery writer or something like that. And so those samskaras prevail, and you have to go to the depth of every single thing all the time. And so therefore therefore this whole explanation is given, but then along with the explanation is also given its dismissal, its khandanam is also given. Because as soon as the pacifier of the Pravesha Shruti goes into the head, when the doubts are assuaged, then you immediately take the person to the next level. And what is that next level? What creation? That's the next level. And that's where we are going to go. Because there is no other go here. So let's open the Bhashya to make sure that we are all on, literally this time, on the same page. Here we are. Okay, page 283, and I don't know the English Bhashya, wherever you are, I don't know. So then we are here in the first paragraph. We have seen this. Nahi anyatra upalabhyate brahma. See, the part that we are looking at, we have just finished looking at, is seeing that it is this Brahman has to be recognized by the buddhi alone. Buddhi means the intellect. By the intellect alone, this Brahman has to be recognized. No other place, no other way. Okay, so upalabdhi should be there, and then it is available. Brahman is available along with what is that? Vishesha Sambandha. Vishesha means some kind of a particular attribute. So the kind of Brahman that's available in the buddhi for cognizing always is along with an attribute. It is recognized, just like Rahu and what's their name? What's the other one's name? Ketu are recognized shadow. The shadow is recognized only in the presence of light. And then the other example that was given, just to bring us up to par, up to right now, is like the aloka vishishta ghatadhi upalabdhi yatha, and so avabhasamanakatvacha antakaranasya. So this Brahman is available in the buddhi. Why? Because the buddhi is in the nature of light. Because it borrows the light of understanding each and every object from where? From Brahman alone. So it borrows that, so the buddhi is lit up, and then the buddhi continues to light up other things, just like the sun continues to light up all other things in the universe. This much we have seen. And then evam buddhi pratyaya aloka vishishta atma upalabdhi syat. Atma upalabdhi syat. So in the same way, the buddhi is lit up and has the capacity to recognize Atma. That's why the Atma cannot be recognized in the nose or in the toes, for that matter. It has to be recognized where the place of recognition is. It's the place of recognition of the I. It is the place of the recognition of the Jagat. It is the place of the recognition of myself as non-separate from everything as well. And so it is the place of the recognition of the Adhishthana, the truth of the Jagat also. This much we have seen. So tasmad upalabdhi hetau guhayam nihitam iti prakritam eva. So prakritam eva means under discussion. What is under discussion? Guhayam nihitam, because if we go back, and what was said in the back, way back, Brahmavid apnoti param nihitam guhayam, yo veda nihitam guhayam, it was told. The one who knows as though it is in the heart. So the one who knows that, that is the one who understands, and that is the one who is ready to gain this understanding. This is what was told. And then further, what is tad vritti sthaniye tu iha puna tat srishtva tadeva anupravishat iti uchyate. Tad vritti sthaniye tu tad tu iha punah tad srishtva tadeva anupravishat iti uchyate. So now there is in this particular section that we are studying, so kamayat bahusyam prajaye yeti, we have done that. Satapo tapyat satapas taptva idagam sarvam asrijat, this also we have done. Having visualized the previous cycle of creation, this being, this great being, Ishvara, brought manifested forth everything, and that which was manifest is non-separate from the manifester. And then what did it do? Tadeva anupravishat. It entered into every single, this Brahman in the form of Ishvara entered into every single aspect of creation, entered into every single aspect of creation. And then this Brahman alone has to be understood as what? Not as Brahman sitting somewhere, no, as Atma, as I. This is what has to be understood. This is what is we have been seeing. And then the next portion is talking about connecting the seer, which we think is an inward process. The seer means it's connected to me, and then outside is this Jagat which is seen. So here the seer is connected to the seen by way of what? That Brahman alone is the seer, and the seen also is not separate from Brahman. So the subject object difference which was there is now going to be erased cognitively. Of course, it is going to be erased, because this is where we have to go for understanding the oneness. Otherwise, between myself and the Jagat, there will always be duality, and between myself and the Ishvara, also there will be duality. And so, therefore, this last portion has to see that all this is one. How to see all this is one? This is something which is very, very interesting. All this is one means that there is that I have to include myself in this. So therefore, what does it say? Tadeva, the Tadeva idam. So this is paragraph 102 here, number 102, second paragraph on page 283. Tadeva iha, maybe I should share it so people can follow. Yes? Can't see? Yeah, okay. Make it a little bigger. We are over here. We just finished this. We are over here. You can, Ramakrishnan ji is there or not today? Not there today.
Yes, I am here.
Ah, you're here. Okay, you can repeat. Tadeva
Deva
idam akashadikaranam
akashadikaranam
karyam srishtva
karyam srishtva
tad anupravishtam iva
tad anupravishtam iva
antarguhayam
antarguhayam
buddhau
buddhau
श्रोत्र मंत्र
drashtru shotru
या
mantru
दृष्टि श्रोत्र मंत्र
drashtru shotru mantru
विज्ञात्र इत्येवं
vigyatru ityevam
विशेषवद् उपलभ्यते
विशेषवत् उपलभ्यते
स एव तस्य प्रवेशः
स एव तस्य प्रवेशः
अस्माद् अस्ति तत्कारणं ब्रह्म
तस्मादस्ति तत्कारणं ब्रह्म
अतः
अतः
अस्तित्वात्
अस्तित्वात्
अस्तीति एव
इति एव
उपलब्धव्यम्
उपलब्धव्यम् तत्
So, Tadeva means that which is under discussion. We are not talking of one Brahman which is in the heart and one Brahman which went out and created the universe. This we have to see, make sure that we understand that all this is what? One thing and one thing alone. Tadeva. Tadeva means that which is being discussed. Tadeva. So Tadeva, this Brahman alone, Tadeva, idam, akashadi karanam karyam srishtva. So having created the, so this, what is this Tadeva? Akashadi karanam. It is the cause of all the five elements and the elementals. Bhuta, elements, bhautika, elementals. Things that have come out of the elements are called elementals. So, Bhuta Bhautikadi. So, this is the one that has created the quote unquote again, created the elements, created all the things that have come out of the elements. It's the cause of everything. Karyam Srishtva, having created the Jagat. Karyam means Jagat. Karyam means what? The effect. Having created, so called, so to speak, created the effect, tad anupravishtam iva. So it has entered. Now, now the big question is where it has entered. This is a very important question. Then we can go around naming everything in the universe. Rock is Brahman. No, Brahman is not rock, but rock is Brahman. And then the rock sitting next to that rock is also Brahman. Pebble is Brahman. Dirt is Brahman. Molecules are Brahman. Particles are Brahman. Galaxies are Brahman. And the dirt from Mars, which is being sent to Earth for analysis for organic matter, that is also Brahman. This dirt Brahman, that dirt Brahman, extraterrestrial thing Brahman, water here Brahman, water elsewhere Brahman, everything Brahman. We can sit here saying like this. But till all the cows and everybody and their relatives come home. We can do that. But what happens as a result of that? It becomes a mere, maybe it becomes a kind of a little bit of a nididhyasana. We can say that. Okay. Maybe this is a kind of a nididhyasanam, Ishwarizing the whole universe, seeing everything as Ishvara. Okay, fine, wonderful. But what we are trying to see is that even though this Brahman has entered the whole world of names, forms, etc., there's only one place where it has entered. That entry alone matters. No other entry matters. Because rock is Brahman, does not make any difference to the rock. Rock doesn't say, oh, I rock. Why? Because I'm Brahman. It could care less. Why? Sukshma Sharira Abhavat. Because it does not have the subtle body, it does not have buddhi, it is not lighted up, it is not lit up by Brahman, and doesn't have the ability to come to various understandings or conclusions or wrong conclusions about itself. If the rock had the capacity to come to wrong conclusions about itself, what is my purpose in life? I am just a lump on the side of the road. Nobody even pays attention to me. I might as well cease to exist, but I don't know how to cease to exist. I have been existing for so long. And in fact, they say I was a tree and then I got petrified, unintended, and now I'm a rock. If it starts to think like this and talk like this, definitely it needs Brahma Vidya. Definitely it needs what? It needs instruction. Definitely. But the rock could care less whether it is Brahman or Abrahman, it is fine. On all other life forms, even dog could care less. You make it sit down. You should have a little treat in hand, then only it will sit down. You make it sit down and say, you know what? You are a good boy. And then you are you are Brahman. Because you are paying attention, it will wag its tail. And then after that, it will go away. It is could care the least bit if it is Brahman or not. Why should it care? Because it doesn't have a complex, it is centered on the I. Only that particular life form which has a complex centered on the I am not good enough, nothing I do is enough, I am an idiot, I don't like life, and nobody likes me either, and this is what I'm confined to, this is my lot. Anybody who says that, whether they live in this world or in some other planet, if you are saying that, then you are a candidate for this knowledge. So the only entry, Adi Shankara is brilliant here. The Adi Shankara says, he posits that the only entry that really, really, really matters is the entry into buddhi. Tad anupravishtam. Anupravishtam means, okay, it has entered. Then the $1,000,000 question, where it has entered? Eva, it has as though entered. Because if it has entered, then my buddhi will track Brahman, correct? No more Brahman available because it is sitting in my buddhi. But that's not true. Why? Because it's in your buddhi too. It's in every buddhi. It's in every aspect of creation. And so you cannot say that it is in my buddhi. It's in one buddhi. So therefore, Eva has though entered the creation, and the creation includes what? This buddhi. And that is the creation, that is the entry that matters. And so, tad anupravishtam eva, as though entered what? Antar guhayam buddhau. Antar guhayam. So, this is the guha. And we have seen why the buddhi is called the cave. Because it is full of doubts, full of despair, damp, with depression and wrong understanding. And therefore, Antarguhaya, Buddha, it has entered. Okay, now, now I get it. That's why all the saints and the sages say, go dive deep within. Don't look at everything outside. Go within, go within, go within. Now I understand. Now I have to go within. And so, okay, this is very, very wonderful. So now let me close my eyes and look within. Where are you? You who? Where is Brahman? Where is Atma? Where is Brahmatma? If you ask the question, then one is in the uncomfortable situation of being both the question and the answer. The answer is you, the questioner is you. Therefore, Adi Shankara very clearly posits here. What does he say? Buddhau, it has entered in the buddhi, seventh case of buddhis, Buddhau. How? Drashtru in the form of the seer. Shrotru in the form of the hearer. Because as soon as you say Drashtru, that means what? Oh, I am the seer. Okay, then I can't be the hearer. If I am the seer, Atma is the seer, Atma cannot be the hearer. If Atma is the hearer, Atma cannot be the mantra, thinker, emoter. Emoter is also called mantra. Vijnatru, knower. Ityevam visheshavat upalabhyate. Now we understand something very important. Visheshavat means along with the Visheshanas, along with the specificities, along with the various attributes, Upalabhyate. So now we know why we spent so much time on that Rahu and Ketu being seen only when there is an eclipse. Why? Because they as though cover the sun, but they don't really cover the sun. The sun brings the shade to light. In order to see shade, you need a source of light. So even here, in order to recognize Brahman, what do you need here? You need a source of light, and you need something that has form, because Brahman has no form. So in order to recognize Rahu Ketu, you need something that has form, so that side by side to that which has attributes, you understand that which is free from attributes, which is Brahman. Similarly, in the same manner, in the Buddhi, it is available as what? Now seer, now hearer, now what else? Now seer, now hearer, now thinker. Thinker also means the one who comes to conclusions, usually useless conclusion. So the one who comes to conclusion, this is the one who's called mantra. So the seer, hearer, thinker, and then what else? Knower. Visheshavat upalabhyate. Visheshavat means that because it is Visheshavan. The Visheshavan is masculine, Visheshavati, feminine, Visheshavat, neuter. Because Brahman is neuter. So Brahma Visheshavat upalabhyate. It is available along with an attribute. So what is the attribute? Attribute is seer. So Brahman equipped with the status of being seer. So seer is Brahman. No, but I am the seer. Hello. You are Brahman. That's all we are trying to say from the beginning. You are that Brahman you seek to be. And so you are Brahman. And the seer is me. This is how we have to understand it. I am not the seer. Why? Because then who will be the hearer? If the seer has been used up for the eye, then who will be the hearer? Again, you have to say, I am the hearer. And if you are the hearer, then who will be the thinker? Who will be the knower? Who will be the father? Who will be the mother? All these things. Very beautiful. And so, in order to be all these things, this Brahman is free of all these things. It is in fact nothing at all, nothing in particular at all. So therefore, tadevam akashadikaryam srishtva tad anupravishtam iva antarguhayam buddhau drashtru shrotru mantru vijnatru iti evam visheshavat upalabhyate. Visheshavat upalabhyate means now he is telling the real meaning of the word entry. All other entries do not matter. Yes, Brahman has quote unquote entered the rock which it created. So again, within quotes. Just like you have entered the dream world which you have created. So Brahman has permeated the entire world of name and form. But all that doesn't matter unless it gets into our head, pun intended. Unless Brahman is understood as having gotten in our head, then only it matters. And so Tadeva Anupravishat means what? Tadeva means Akashadi Karanam Karyam Srishtva. What is this Tadeva Idam? Tadeva means Tad Brahma Eva. This Brahman which we have been talking about, this Brahman under discussion, idam Brahma tadevam akashadi karanam. This Brahman, which is what we are talking about, having created this Akashadi, means Akasha, why you have to say Adi, means from the five elements all the way to this body, this mind, this senses. You see, Vedanta is not Vedanta unless it brings you back to yourself. You have to come back to yourself. It has to bring you back to yourself. Otherwise, it becomes an abstraction, leading to such questions as, I know I'm Brahman, but I'm not experiencing it. How to experiencing it? Leading to such questions as, Brahman is everywhere. How can it be me? All these things. So therefore, this is something to really, this is a very important portion. And so Akashadi Karanam means from the Akashaha, Adihi, Yasya. That Akasha is the beginning of which list. So if we make a whole list, we will say right from Akasha all the way to what? All the way to this body, mind, sense complex. Tat srishtva karyam. This is a good reminder. It is called karyam, effect. So even the ahankara, which parades as the cause of everything, is an effect. So tat anupravishtam iva. As though this Brahman has entered, where? Karye. Tasmin anupravishtam. You can take it, this tad anupravishtam, you can take it as Dvitiya Tatpurusha or Saptami Tatpurusha. I'll explain what that means. Dvitiya Tatpurusha means Tat Anupravishta. Tat Anupravishtam means we can take it as second case. Yeah, that alone has entered. The entry of that or the entry into that. Both way we can take it. And if we take the seventh case, it becomes just like Devadatta built a house for himself. And what did he do? On the auspicious Muhurta, he entered the house. Entered the house. Entered the house means what? They went inside because he began to live there. And then so when you walk by his house and say, Devadatta, he will respond from inside, yo, I'm here. Why? Because where he has entered, he is available. That is one thing we have to understand. Where that entry has been made, that person is available. So Devadatta, who has entered the house? Devadatta has entered the house. And so when Devadatta is called out, he answers. He says, yes, what can I do for you? Who is it? At the door. He will answer from inside. Similarly, Brahman has entered. Similarly, just like Devadatta created the house, went inside the house, sitting in the house, he is still available in the house. Similarly, Brahmatma, having created everything, starting with the five elements all the way to this body, it is still available. It is still available in which form? As I. What is this I? Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. It is still available as Swarupa, the Swarupa of everything. You see, this is the thing. So as we look at the Tatastha Lakshana, as we look at Brahman in the form of in the form of what? In the form of everything that is there. So to speak, which we recognize outside, even though the body mind sense complex is also outside where Brahman is concerned. But doesn't matter. Let us look at discrete objects in the Jagat. We say this is Brahman, this is Brahman, this is Brahman. This is all Brahman. Yes. But then all that is not that, all that is what? Objects. And the objects are non-separate from the subject. So when I look at the object, I'm relating to Ishvara, Brahman in the form of Ishvara, so Tatastha Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana means this Brahman which is recognized along with the attributes, Sagunam Brahma. So when I look at the rock and say this is Ishvara, I am relating to Sagunam Brahma, Gunaihi Saha Vartate, that which is along with the attributes. Rock has a certain density, a certain mass, A certain color, depending on where you go, certain color is there, certain things are there. And so this is what I'm relating to. Whatever I see is Ishvara. Tatastha Brahman in the form of Tatastha Lakshana. So Kamayata Ishvara. But then, what is the truth of that? When I look, quote unquote, within, when I look at what is in the buddhi, buddhi is Tatastha Lakshana, like the house of Devadatta. But then, what is in the buddhi? What is in the buddhi? I, Brahmatma, that is available in the buddhi, Satchidananda, Swarupa Lakshana, Satyam Jnanam Ananta. You see how beautifully the two coalesce. So the Tatastha Lakshana, the Tatastha Lakshana is non-separate from the Swarupa Lakshana. Tatastha Lakshana means the incidental expression of Brahman in the form of the Jagat. When there is a when there is a manifest universe, the incidental expression of Brahman is called in Sanskritam as Tatastha Lakshana. The incidental expression is non-separate from what? From the intrinsic expression. Satyam Jnanam Anantam. Now, what is the connection between the intrinsic expression and the incidental expression? The incidental expression is dependent upon the intrinsic expression. The incidental expression comes and goes. It is truly incidental. So, from the standpoint of the universe, from the standpoint of all the things in the universe, they just come and go. From the standpoint of Brahman, they come and go. Dinosaurs, where are they now? Gone. And then so many other things have come and gone, come and gone, come and gone. So they come, they go, they come, they go. They have no staying power. Why? Because this Ishvara's expression is along with name and form. Ishvara doesn't come and go. Name and form comes and goes. And the name and form comes and goes, comes and goes, comes and goes. What is invariable is the Swarupa Lakshana, out of which, as though all names and forms have come and gone, so to speak, but really without coming, without going. The Swarupa Lakshana is here to stay. It is the truth of the Tatastha Lakshana, is the Swarupa Lakshana. So this is something we have to understand. So let's see further. So this is what it is, buddhau upalabhyate. It is recognized in the buddhi. How is it recognized in the buddhi? Visheshavat upalabhyate. Just like the Rahu, which is formless, is recognized how? Is recognized along with the source of light. Otherwise, it is not recognized. So here also, it comes along with certain attributes and forms as though. What is the Vishesha? That which is variable. Because if it's a permanent Vishesha, then Brahman has to have undergone a change in order to become the Buddhi. No. Just like milk became yogurt and milk became curd and cannot again become milk. And so therefore, this is a uh, this is a this is a variable Vishesha. So therefore, so Visheshavat Brahma is available in the Buddhi. If you look for, if you look for Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma in the Buddhi, will you find it? Not as an object. Not as an object. Even the one who says, I am Brahman, and Visheshavat Upalabhyate. It is available as the knower. It is available as the thinker. So, this is the Visheshavat Upalabhyate. Why? Nirvishesham tu Brahma. Brahman is without Vishesha. But that Brahman without Vishesha, even though it shines as the Buddhi, it is not trapped in the Buddhi. It is the truth of the Buddhi. It is not, the Buddhi is not the locator of Brahman. This is Brahman and this is Buddhi. No. Again, there will be two things, and then Mithya will become the holder of Satyam. That is just that is not correct. And so, What do we see here? We see that this Brahman is the one that even, quote unquote, created the buddhi. Just go back to Devadatta's example. Devadatta did what? Made the house, created the house, and then proceeded to what? Live in the house. Proceeded to live in the house after creating the house. So similarly, this Brahman is available in the buddhi. But what? But it is not objectifiable by the buddhi. Therefore, I always say it is a knowledge that takes place in the mind, in the antakarana, but it is not a knowledge for which the mind is, or the buddhi is the agent. Buddhi cannot be the agent of the knowledge. It is a mere receptacle, as it were, where this Brahman is recognized not as an object, but as the very truth of the I. And who is this I? So the invariable always comes with a variable. Now seer, now hearer, now thinker, now eater, now sleeper, now dreamer, now waker. Of course, what else comes after sleeper? Waker. Now teacher, now mother, now father. And there, this is what? We have the prakriti. Prakriti means the main thing, the substantive. And then we have the pratyaya, the suffix. The suffix here is called trich. Tr, mantr, shrotr, vignatr, drashtr. So sometimes tr, sometimes tr, because of what precedes. And so here, this drashta, shrota, manta, vignata, all these various iterations of Brahman are what? They are the ways to recognize Brahman. Drashta, seer. Seer who is who? Seer, I am the seer. Again we say, seer is the truth of me. I am not the seer because I am limitless enough to be the seer, the hearer, everything. And so in the grammar, we have this ER, which is seen as a variable. So like supposing if I have the word in Sanskrit, it's easier to illustrate. Supposing I have the word, jnana, jnana in the form of jnana, to know. So to this jna, I add one pratyaya, a suffix. And what is the suffix? Jna plus tr, jnatr. And when you decline it in the masculine form, it is jnata, jnatr. So the trich pratyaya has come. Tr, tr, tr. Mantr, shrotr, drashtr. And kartr, bhoktr, karta, bhokta, jnata, vigyata, manta, drashta, all these are what? These words are formed by the adding of the Sanskrit version of the ER. Eater, drinker. So there it is TR, not ER. In English it is ER. Here in Sanskrit it is TR. So jna plus tr, jnatr. So now we think, because trained in grammar, we think that these suffixes are dispensable and variable. Why? See, I can demonstrate this. So I can take away tr. Bye bye, jnata. Jnatr, gone. And then I can add tavya. Jna plus tavya. Tavya means has to be, no, has to be. There is a kind of a, what is that? An imperative sense. Must do, must have. So I have the word, I have the root verb jna. Jna means what? To know. So first we made a word jna plus tr, jna tr. And then after that I took away the tr, because after all the suffixes are terribly dispensable. No problem. You can just keep on like Lego bricks. You can detach the suffix and attach one more suffix. So jna plus tr, bye bye. Now tr has gone. Jna plus tavya. Jnatavya, Jnatavyam. This must be known. Atmavidya, Jnatavya. This Atmavidya, the knowledge must of the Atma must be known. So then, the same thing I can do to Karta, Kartru. So then, Kr plus Tavya, and it takes Guna. So Kartavya. From Kartru, the Tru was taken away, and Tavya comes, Tavya goes. Then I can add one more Pratyaya, one more suffix in the form of that which is called Yat. Yat Pratyaya, Karyam, Haryam. Jneyam, like this. So I can add yat, I can add so many other pratyayas. One after the other, I can add so many krit pratyayas. I can keep on adding. So that makes me think that jna, the word, or any substantive, that is the main thing. And then these suffixes come and go. Here, it's a suffix that is made to stand on its head. The whole reasoning is made to stand on its head and do a very mind-boggling headstand. Look at this. Even let's illustrate this in English. Teacher, hearer, mentor. What else? Thinker, sleeper, waker, dreamer. We think that the ER is variable and the substantive is these words. But actually, the ER is here to stay. ER stays. The words come and go. Teach, teacher. ER is the substantive. ER is Atma. ER is that, the truth, the content of the ER is Atma. The Drashtru, Shrotru, Mantru. What is the truth of the seer is the same thing as the truth of the hearer, the truth of the thinker, the truth of the waker, the truth of the truth of the dreamer, sleeper. Everything is Atma alone. So these are all Visheshas. So you see, Vishesha we think is that which comes and goes. But here, the substantive itself comes and goes. The what we think is the Vishesha is really, the substantive. What we have had previously thought was the substantive. The substantive is I, and then everything else is Vishesha alone. And so therefore, this avoids the big pitfall. What is the pitfall? In the beginning, the it was Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, and then now it has become the Jagat. It is so sad, it has devolved. This has devolved into the Jagat. Then this is the problem. And so there is no devolution, there is no evolution. It simply is. So this trich pratyaya is very important because that is the content of the trich. You don't say trich is Atma. The content of the ER is Atma. That which makes the ER is Atma. That is what it is, because of which ER is available to identify as myself. I am the hearer of these words. How can I do that? The hearer comes and goes. Hearer is replaced by the singer. Singer is replaced by the sleeper. And then what is there? That which is the truth of all of them without being any one of them. So Brahman has to be everything. In order to be everything, has to be nothing in particular, and it has to be understood along with the Visheshas, Vishesha, along with the Vishesha. And then the Vishesha is variable, and a Vishesha comes and goes. It is like Ghata, Pata, Matha, etc. It's purely for understanding the Vastu. Similarly, in the Buddhi, it is what? Upalabhyate, it is there. How upalabhyate? Variably upalabhyate. Visheshavat upalabhyate. How? Drashtru, seer. Oh, Brahman is seer? No, no, no. Brahman is also hearer. Shrotru. And so that's why the Kenopanishad goes ahead and says what? Shrotrasya shrotram. Manaso mano yat vachoha vacham sahu pranasya pranaha. So, shrotrasya shrotra. It is not shrota. So, it is not the ears. The organ called the ears, it is not. And it is not the capacity to hear. It is not the capacity to hear which is connected to the organ. And so, what is it? It is the content of the hearer. It's neither the hearer nor it is the object of that which is heard. It is the content of that which is both the subject of the hearing and the object of the hearing. Let us say a bird is chirping, a horn is blowing somewhere, traffic, and so you can hear all this. And that is the object, this is the subject. We always have a duality, but here this duality is totally, completely erased. How? By the understanding that that which is variable is not only the object which is variable. Now I hear the dog bark, now I hear the birds chirp, now I hear the traffic on the road. Not only is the sound, the object variable, the subject also is variable, because the hearer turns into seer, the hearer turns into singer, hearer turns into talker. And so, therefore, in and through all these variables, in and through the subject and object, that because of which subject is subject, that which because of which object is object, that because of which the subject is connected to the object by which means of knowledge, that is what is Shrotrasya Shrotra, the ear of the ear. That because of which the ears hear. That power is Ishvara, and here it is Ishvara in the form of the hearer. But if Ishvara is the hearer, then Ishvara cannot be thinker. So therefore, we have to go around and say, the hearer is Ishvara. Ishvara is not the hearer. The thinker is Ishvara. And the seer is Ishvara. Ishvara is none of them. Upholds all of them. That is exactly what he says. Very beautiful portion. And so it's neither the seer nor the hearer, because it is not different. So Visheshavat Upalabhyate, that's what it means. Otherwise, we'll be looking for something beyond. This is the modern Vedanta problem. What is the problem of modern Vedanta? Supreme, beyond. The word supreme is only used for gasoline, okay? Yeah, unleaded, supreme, all these things. So nowhere else it fits. So certainly not for Atma. And no superlatives and supremes and all these things, because otherwise we get into a form of dissociation. There is some Atma somewhere, sitting somewhere, and I have to go beyond the knower. Somebody actually told me this, said to me, I have to go beyond the knower. Why do you have to go beyond the knower? No, because I'll be stuck at the knower. But do you understand that the knower is you? You are not the knower. That was not understood. That's exactly why one gets stuck in the knower, hearer, etc. Because we don't see that connection. And then, so therefore, the knower is Vijnatru, hearer is Shrotru, then Mantru, thinker is Mantra. All these things are what? All these are just Atma alone. Nothing but Atma. So then the variable being very clear, the invariable, don't look for it as an object. The one who looks for the invariable happens to be invariable. This is what has to be cognized. And when this is recognized, then this is what we call Satyam, invariably present. This is Nirvikalpam Brahma. It is neither jnata, knower, nor jneyam, to be known, nor jnanam, nor the means of knowledge. All these three have their beings in one. Therefore, it is ananta. Visheshavat upalabhyate, buddhau eval upalabhyate. And then, so, tasya praveshaha iti, this is what is called pravesha. This is exactly pravesha. So, pravesha, he decodes. This is the pravesha. The pravesha into your buddhi. The pravesha into our thick buddhi where nothing goes. And finally, this knowledge has gone. And so, this is something to celebrate. This is the pravesha. So, then further he says, where did the Bhashya go? Further he says, yeah, सह एव तस्य प्रवेशः Tasmad asti tat karanam Brahma. This is the pravesha. And so therefore what? He comes in a very beautiful, just a wonderful touchdown, like a perfect landing of a plane. Tasmad asti Brahma. Therefore what? Brahman is. What a lovely way to prove it. Why? Because it is because you are here. You are the one who keeps saying, I am the thinker, I am the hearer, I am the seer. And all these, the witness of all these, which is free of being even the witness, that one is you. And so, therefore, what? Brahman is existent. The existence for to prove the existence of Brahman, all that we require is you. If you are there, then we can say definitely Brahman exists. Why? Because if I ask you the question, are you here? Then what? You have to say yes. You absolutely have to say yes. And so therefore, this is what has to be recognized by the buddhi. This is the pravesha. So this is why it is called pravesha, because the pravesha is a upalakshana, gauna. Gauna means it's not that it cannot be taken literally. There is nothing entering anything because there are no two things belonging to the same order of reality. So therefore, तदेव सह एव तस्य प्रवेशः तस्मादिति तत्कारणं ब्रह्म. So therefore, आकाशादि कारणं ब्रह्म. And then the atah asti iti eva upalabdhavyam. So you can't say nasti. Why? Because the one who says nasti is denying their own self. They are denying their own self. If you say Brahman does not exist, what are you saying? I do not exist. ah, asanne vasa bhavati. We saw this earlier. Asad brahmeti veda chet. अस्ति ब्रह्मेति चेद्वेद संतमेनन्ततो विदुरितिः इति. So like this, we saw Asti, the one who says, I am, and then Brahman is. So the one who is not denying Brahman is not denying oneself. If I say there is no Bhagavan, that means what? I am denying myself. So therefore, he lands here to this whole Asti business because it is very important to understand that for the Upanishad, it's not an option. Whether Brahman exists or not is not at all an option. For the Upanishad, it is the premise upon which the entire Shastra is built. So if you say Asti, then Asti Brahma, then from Asti Brahma to Asmi Brahma, first Asti Brahma, Brahman is, and then Brahman is, and I am Brahman. From is Brahman to am Brahman, it's a very right royal road, right royal passage. No obstacles. It's like walking on a velvet carpet throughout, or like a bed of flower petals without any thorns, because one is already on the right track and the road becomes very, very easy and free of all obstacles. All I have to understand is the Upanishadic statement here, Asti Brahma. From Asti to Asmi, it's a very beautiful journey. More we'll see tomorrow. दच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. हरिः
Om Shri Guru.
हरिः ॐ. Thank you.